But hi, everybody. I'm Natalie Franke. I am the head of community at HoneyBook, and I'm one of the co-founders of the Rising Tide Society. And I want to welcome you with the warmest welcome ever possibly imaginable over the interwebs to our global Tuesdays Together events. For those of you who are new, the Rising Tide Society is a community of small business owners and creative entrepreneurs who unite in the spirit of community over competition. We have over 400 local chapters led by extraordinary volunteer leaders, co-leaders, and chairs. Our Facebook group has just over 77,000 community members and is facilitated by the world's best team of moderators, truthfully. Educational resources are released almost daily, including things like blog posts, webinars, templates, monthly downloadable guides, and so much more, including events like this one. Because truthfully, we believe that when creatives rise, when small business owners are empowered to thrive, that the entire world is changed for the better. And last year, when the pandemic struck and it became clear to us that it wouldn't be safe for us to be gathering in person with our chapters, we decided to take Tuesdays Together online. And with an overwhelmingly positive response from so many of you, we've continued doing it. And it has become something that we do month over month to really dive into these different business topics that are critical to our success as entrepreneurs, to chat a little bit about what's in the guide, to introduce you to an extraordinary expert from within the community that can teach and speak on this subject, and also just to get us together to hang out. Because the truth is that we need community in the same way that we need oxygen. And right now, I can tell you that I've been craving community myself in ways that I can't even articulate on this webinar. And so if I seem overeager, I am. It's because I'm excited and missing you all so much, and so thrilled to have so many of you joining us live. I'm jumping into the chat right now to see some familiar faces and some new ones too. We've got Marvin, Lisa, Tiffany, Nicole, Sarah, Danielle. Oh my gosh, I love it. Look at this. So many. All right, I'm scrolling and scrolling. Wow. So many fantastic people. I love it. Yes. All right. Y'all aren't here to hear me speak, and I know that. So what I'd like to do is I would really love to introduce our guest today, Diana Wei Fang. First of all, I have her whole bio. I'm going to read it, but I just want to say one thing about Diana. Diana is somebody that shows up. She's not only brilliant, and I'm going to give her whole bio, but she is someone that shows up. She has been such an integral part of our community, leading the way for years now. And I just see her consistently giving, and today is no exception. So when I tell you that Diana is a social media and systems strategist, she helps creatives and small business owners like you to tell your story and to reach people through social media marketing and online community management. She creates content strategies that mirror your mission and your values and gets your extraordinary work seen by the right people. You might recognize her from the Rising Tide Facebook group. She's in there guiding the way, moderating at what feels like all hours of the day. And she is one of our extraordinary community moderators. And she's also a HoneyBook Pro, an educator. She's someone that personally I have texted on many occasions over the last year looking for advice and feedback myself. And so I'm really excited to invite you, Diana, up to share a little bit with us today.
Hi, everyone. I'm a little, that intro was so much.
Sorry. I didn't mean to just throw it on you, but that was toned down from what I wanted to do. I had a confetti cannon, I had balloons, I had like walk-up music, because we're trying to really cultivate this digital experience like we would in person. And Kate told me that was perhaps a little much. So we dialed that back just a bit. Before we dive right into questions with you, Diana, I have some housekeeping stuff that I want to cover for everybody. The first is that we're doing a giveaway today. So we do different types of giveaways. We've tested different things. We've done giveaways to the Rising Tide shop. Today, we want to give away a $50 American Express gift card for you to use, one of you lucky winners to use on anything, although, we encourage you to use it on a small business. That's just, our little suggestion. But we're going to be giving away one gift card to one of our live attendees. And all that we ask to enter to win this gift card is that you share on Instagram stories and you tag Rising Tide Society and Diana. And Kate, if you can drop Diana's Instagram handle into the chat, that would be awesome. And the Rising Tide one as well. Just tag those in your story. And here are some ideas. You can share something you learned today. You can share where you're tuning in today, hopefully safe at home. You can share, what you're thinking or how you're tackling business planning or anything that just sparks a conversation for you in today's chat and call. You could share an awesome comment that another business owner shares over the course of the Tuesdays together. So it can be anything that you gather, post it on stories, tag us, and let people know you're tuning in. And then from that, at the end of today's session, we will be giving away that gift card. And y'all, there's a really good chance. Like if you're sitting here going, could I win it? Okay. There's a really good chance you could win it. Right now you're in like a 1 in 76 odds if I subtract out for Diana, myself, and Kate who aren't eligible. So I think that puts you in a really good place. So just a little shameless plug to share about today's event. It's an awesome way to spread the word about this community and what we're doing and our amazing guest, Diana. Now, icebreaker. I've got an icebreaker. I want to know in the chat right now, first, if you chose a word of the year, what was it? Can you share with me in the chat if you chose a word of the year? And if you didn't, just say, didn't choose a word. That's cool too. But give me some words here that I want to kind of get a feel for where we're at. Like, how are we looking at 2021? How are we planning to tackle 2021? Okay, these words are so good. See, I should have done this in December so I could have just stolen one of these words and used it myself because it's so difficult to choose. But I love this. Pivot, grit, implement, thrive. I love that. Achieve, no word. That's awesome, Tabitha. I feel you. Another pivot, not home. Christy, are you calling me out a little bit? I feel a little call out, Christy, with the not home. I chose home as my word of the year for 2020. And then you all know what happened. We got stuck at home. Great is Marvin. I love that. I just doodled something the other day that said there's greatness inside you. And I just think sometimes we need that reminder. Greatness. I love it. Rooted. That's amazing. Focus, movement, intentional, momentum, self-care, flourish, sustainability, depth and discovery, congruence. I'm sorry to Otter AI that's trying to keep up with my mouth right now. I'll slow it down a little. These are phenomenal words. These are really great words. And I love knowing that so many of you are thinking about what you want to kind of contribute to, focus on, perhaps manifest in the new year. And so let's take this one word activity here. Ooh, volition. I like that too. Kristen, that's solid. Let's take this one word activity here and we're going to turn our focus for you right now. You haven't had time to prepare for this, so I am putting you on the spot. All the Enneagram 3s are like, I've been waiting for this my entire life. I'm ready. I want you to pick one word to describe how you feel right now about your business process and plans for 2021. And can you share how you feel? And I want to encourage you, be vulnerable here. So if you're feeling great, tell us you're feeling good. If you're really struggling still, can you tell us, this is a safe space for you and for all of us as a community to just be real because you've got friends here that are looking out for you. And look at this. I'm seeing this too. We're all in very different spaces right now. Yes. Searching, rebuilding, ready, stuck, and hopeful. What's a plan? Okay, Kelly, I relate to that. I do, which is why it's good we're here, isn't it? It's good that we're here. We've got someone so good at this. Tornado, bogged. Yes. Okay. All of this and such an array of different answers. I think it really captures how all of us are in different spaces right now in our lives and our businesses. And we know 2020 was hard. I don't need to tell you that. We all know that. And as we step into 2021, we're all stepping into this year in a different space. We're all stepping into this year in different places, enduring different things, navigating different circumstances. But I want to kind of bring us together with one important point, which is, although we are all facing different things, no one in this group is alone. We have one another. We are a family. And so regardless of what words you gave, I want you to know right now that everyone else who's in this chat, everyone else who's on this webinar, and the folks that are going to watch the replay, we are one family. We are united in this. And so whatever you are facing, you face it with all of us who have your back, who are going to look out for you, and who at any point when you need support, you just raise your hand. You just tell I would bet my life on this. Any one of the human beings on this call, I'm looking at the names, so I know some of you personally. They are the types of people that will have your back if things get tough. And so we've got to be grateful and lean into the community in this season. And so whatever words you put, I want you to know, one, that you're not alone, and two, that we're going to lean on each other. And today we're going to take some really incredible things away from our conversation with Diana. Now, one or two more things before we jump into questions. And actually, by the way, in a second, I'm going to open it up for questions. So if you have specific questions that you've been marinating on, or even one that maybe you know the answer to, but you're just curious about how Diana thinks about it or how other people think about it, get that question ready. We are also, and hold on, Kate, if you can drop the link to the guide in today's chat as well. I do want to just take a moment. We have some really incredible folks that have contributed and contribute every month to this guide. I know some of y'all read it every single time that it comes out. I know some of y'all haven't opened one in a while. That's okay too. There's no judgment, but I do want to say this guide is solid. This is a really fantastic guide. And in this guide, there are some key takeaways that I'd love to just kind of cover at a high level. The first being, when we talk about business processes and planning, we have to begin with last year. We've got to start by actually looking retrospectively, because each year brings new challenges and it brings new lessons that we've learned. And as small business owners, our best way to create new business processes that really raise the bar in our business is to evaluate what already exists. It's to evaluate what has been the process that we've had all along, in order to evaluate whether or not we need to change, whether or not we need to make a shift in our business. And so that's sort of the first thing for all of us to take away. And in the guide, I just felt like it went into this in great detail. Second thing is about goals and boundaries. Can I see a raise of hands if anyone struggles to set boundaries? Does anyone struggle to set boundaries? Yes. Yeah. Drop it in the chat too, so I can see it. I love it, Kit. Yes. Kit. Yes. But then everyone else, yes, for sure. So some of us struggle with this. Kit, maybe this is another session that we need to have where you come on and you help us with setting boundaries. I think it's so important, but we often hear people talking about goals. One of the things I loved in the guide is it also references boundaries, and setting both is so important. Additionally, not forgetting about marketing. I think at the start of the year, it's always important to think about the touches of marketing in different elements of your business. And so it's something that I think is constantly evolving. It's constantly growing. We have to be critical, and we have to be, dare I say, even the word like just cutthroat about where we invest our time, especially where we invest our marketing. And Diana is such an expert in this. So I'm feeling ready to kind of jump into some questions and actually get your opinion, Diana, on this. So what we'll do is I'm going to kind of turn the tables, get us into gear now. I want to invite folks who are here, if you want to post questions in the chat that you have around this wide spectrum of business planning, processes that are going to take you to the next level, how to streamline, what you're actually doing in your business, or areas where you just felt stuck. You felt stuck in 2020 and you're like, hey, I need advice on this. I need clarity. I need to know where to go. Go ahead and feel free to drop those questions into the chat. We do have a couple that we've sourced in advance, so that's always helpful to get us contributing and kicking off. And again, just to remind everyone, I know that we're all here to attend, but this is a community. So we want to also hear from you. Diana and I would love if, as we're talking or we're throwing around ideas, if something resonates, tell us in the chat. If you have a unique perspective on something or something else that you've learned, contribute by throwing it into the chat. This is an open dialogue, an open conversation. And so we want to invite you to engage and to continue to kind of chime in. So with that, I'm going to move us into gear here. And Diana, I want to start here. You are a social media and systems strategist. So for those who don't know, what does that actually mean? What does that look like? What does that entail? We want to get to know a little bit more about you and the basic superpowers that you have.
Thank you so much. And I've recovered from your earlier intro, so I just wanted to make sure that I say thank you for the intro. Thank you for inviting me and having me. I absolutely am in love with this community. So it's kind of like I'm in super fan mode for everyone in this Zoom room right now, because I am personal fans of each and every single one of you, new and old. And so this is really exciting. For me, I'm a social media and systems strategist, just like Natalie said. And honestly, for me, it's about that small businesses. There's no two small businesses that are alike. We may have the same title, but no two are the same. And I think that that's why you're an entrepreneur. I think that that's why you're a creative business owner. I think that that's why some of us will say to each other, I could never work in corporate again. I'm one of those people. I could never do a 9-to-5 again. I don't fit in that mold. And, but what I love is social media, because I love the community of it. And I don't believe that there's one cookie cutter way to run social media. And I don't believe that there's one cookie cutter way to run your business. So I am a strategist. I'm here to take what's in your dream, the way that you operate, the family life that you have, the goals that you have, and make it work for you while still helping you thrive and grow and feel like you have a friend in this journey that we're doing together. That's what I do.
Ooh, I love that. I absolutely love that. And it reminds me of, and I can't remember where I saw it. I think it was yesterday, the other day, someone shared on stories. They said, don't chase their goal, chase yours. Like, understand who you are uniquely, what you are navigating, what your limitations are, what your strengths are. And I'm hearing that from you, and it's resonating, because so often people throw goals out there as if everyone should attack the same goal this year. Everyone should go after the same thing this year. And what I'm hearing is, no, the key to having a strategy and with the work you do is to evaluate the individual and the needs that individual has and the business itself and what their dreams are and their goals are. And it's so important. And Tabitha says she's fallen into that trap. And Allison, yes, I believe in this so much. Allison, I was wondering if it was you that I read it from, because I know that you align with everything Diana's saying. So let's kind of step into goal setting, because this is a place where I think a lot of us, when we think about business planning in general, we think about a new year, we think about a refresh. A lot of times you're going to hear conversations around goals. And I think they're great. We choose words of the year. We set annual goals or quarterly goals, or, there's different types of strategies around goals. But I think one of the key questions, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, is like, how do you set ladder goals that help to get you to where you actually want to be? Maybe what are some of the pitfalls you see people making? Or what are some of the ways that when you strategize for a business on their social media goals or their systems goals, that you help them to actually achieve that? You help them to kind of take that to a place where it's efficient and effective.
Yeah. So I am a lover of a little bit of tough love, if you'll allow me to do that today. So I honestly, the number one pitfall that I see people doing, especially when it comes to social media, is they see a strategy that works for someone else and they want it for themselves. And they're not in a place social media wise. You haven't put in the same time. You're not in the same timeline of work. It's not even the same concept of work. And you think that it's going to happen to you because it happened for someone else. And like, so-and-so got 1.1 million views on this. And so if I just make the same exact thing, then it's going to work for me. And that might be true. It might, but more often than not, I just see disappointment because it's like, well, it's not, the algorithm's not working for me, And so, but it's not true. And so I just try to get everyone to set realistic expectations, to look at yourself, to really analyze what you have done. If you are not consistent on social media, if you're not consistent with your business workflows and systems, if you haven't even looked at it and you're just taking in leads as they come and you're writing emails from scratch and you're just doing things on the go, which is, there is no shame at all. Please hear my heart, because I know, and I have been there, and there are some days where I'm still there. Please hear my heart. I'm not shaming anyone at all for doing what you're doing. I'm just saying, please make a goal that reflects where you actually are in your business. That is all I'm saying. So start there, start big. Where do you want to go? Do you want to write a book? Is that where you're going? Okay, if you're writing a book, then maybe you need to start writing blog posts. Maybe you need to start a newsletter if you don't have one already. Maybe you just need to start writing a journal to yourself, right? Like, where are you at with your comfort level and moving towards that? If you are interested in landing some speaking gigs, or maybe you're just interested, low bar, I just need 5 new clients this year. That's all I'm looking for, 5 new clients. Okay. What do you need to do? What are the steps to do to get there with your lifestyle? Maybe you have 7 kids at home and 2 dogs, and you just need 5 new clients, but you also have 7 kids and 2 dogs. That's also very valid and fair, guys. You've got to work it in between the feedings. And one of the biggest stumbling blocks that I find is, this is what I want to do, but I can't because X. You can. It might look different for you. The timeline might look different for you, but you absolutely can. And so just acknowledging and accepting that for yourself is going to be step 1. That's a big one that I usually try to get people to talk it out with me.
I love that. And I also, it's that idea of like, you can do it. You probably can't do it all right now, all at the same time, all on your plate. But with what you're talking about, taking those bite-sized steps, acknowledging where you really are in your business, such that when you do have those big, audacious, amazing goals, it's a question of just, okay, but how? Not, it's impossible. And I think sometimes, and I don't know if anyone else feels this way, I fall into the trap of setting big goals without taking the time to do what you just outlined, which is, okay, great. Then how do I ladder up to get there? What are those additional steps that are going to lead me there? First mistake. But then also feeling so discouraged by setting goals that are so far out there that not when I'm not able to hit them in a quick amount of time or an impossible expectation amount of time, I feel discouraged, right? I feel frustrated. And then I just want to throw in the towel. So what I'm hearing is, really setting yourself up for success in your goal setting, which is so important. As people think about and make yearly goals for their business, statistically speaking, 70% of us have likely already given up on our goals that we set on January 1st. Kate told that stat. Maybe Diana pulled that stat, and I agree. I think there are some you did. There are some where I agree. I'm there. I said, I'm going to Peloton every day, and now it's become a clothes hanger. Okay. So we got to work on that. But the reality here is that a lot of us have already given up those goals. So how do we prevent that from happening, Diana? Like, what are some of the daily habits that we can incorporate into our life that will help to get us towards that bigger goal so that we don't just give up when things get hard or give up when we feel like it's not happening fast enough?
I think having the motivation, and really, truly, this is like an assessment for yourself. What is the motivation behind the goal that you've set? Is it because this is what you want, or is it because this is what you see other people having and you feel like you should be there? So that's huge. 2 is, my mentor says this often, and I'm going to steal it and share it with you. If you set a goal to run a marathon, you have daily goals, right? You're not just going to run a marathon tomorrow. Let me tell you right now, I am in no shape to run a marathon tomorrow. So you're going to set a goal. You're going to do couch to 5K. You're going to run around the block a few times. You're going to work your way up to getting to the marathon. And even to get to the marathon, you have to get to qualifiers, right? And if you don't make one qualifier, it doesn't mean that your journey is over. You can try again. But in addition to all of those things I just said, the doctor is also going to probably tell you to drink water, to rest. That's part of the routine to get to the marathon as well, to finish the marathon, right? So like, what is the stamina that you have to get there? And some of us aren't ready. If you were given your dreams tomorrow, some of you, where you are systematically and where you are business plan wise, you're not ready. You're not ready. Would you be able to handle an influx of clients right now? Could you do it without crying, collapsing, whatever, right? This is no judgment here, because I would cry and collapse as well. So, but are you ready? If your book launched tomorrow, do you have your marketing plan ready? Are you ready to sell it? Are you ready to hit those goals? So, these are like some of those questions that only you can answer. I can help you get there, but you have to answer those questions for yourself first.
Okay. Mic drop moment right there is if some of us hit our goals tomorrow, are we even ready? Are we ready for that success or that win? I have never heard someone present it like that. It reminds me, some of y'all know I'm going through IVF, and it reminds me of like, if you knew the size of the blessing that was coming, you'd understand why the mountain is so high to climb. And so there's like that mentality of like sometimes setting these goals, sometimes like trudging through these trying seasons of figuring out what works for you and testing out a strategy on social media and refining it and doing something new and trying something different. It feels like it's the stuff that's in between you and where you want to be. But what you just said, Diana, is like sometimes we have to go through that in order to be prepared for the goodness that's coming, in order to be prepared for actually hitting that goal and landing it and having the success that we're going to have as business owners, right? And that is just, I've never heard someone present it like that. And I'm sorry, but like, I'm taking that forever. That is like my big nugget already. What are we? We're 25 minutes in, and that was like gold. I know I've got to doodle it because I think so often we just want the end result. We want the finish line. We want to be done. We want to be sprinting through the marathon finish line, getting our ribbon, celebrating with our friends, and eating a burrito. That's where we want to be, right? But sometimes falling and tripping and skinning our knee on that second mile, sometimes getting back up, sometimes continuing forward, sometimes building a community around us to encourage us, like those steps get us there. And yeah, the burrito with all the guac. I know it's extra, but so am I. Yes. Okay. Continuing forward. Actually, Tabitha, I think had a question. Was it Tabitha? I'm going to scroll back up here. I think this is right in line with what we're talking about. Tabitha asks, what do you recommend for simplifying the process? So when you have many goals, many ideas, many things to consider, Do you just pick one and then what? Or like, how do you deal with simplification? And I would also say here, I'm hearing like prioritization being sort of a, she didn't say it, but that's kind of what I'm sensing as well. So any advice for us on that? Because I'm sure a lot of us are multi-passionate entrepreneurs with many goals, personal and professional.
Yeah, for sure. I would say that there are seasons for everything. You're likely, a few of us might be chasing this several goals at the same time, but there are seasons. And so realistically, once you figured out, okay, I'm going to run my marathon, these are the steps I need to get to that marathon, you will find that there's going to be busy seasons and there's going to be some downtime seasons. When this is your stretching season, this is when you're reading more, this is when you're, drinking and hydrating and resting, like you're going to figure out your seasons. And so that's when I would say, are there dips where then you can say, oh, well, I'm writing a book, but here is when I send it off to the editor and I'm done. So this is a great place for me to pick up my photography skills, or this is a great time for me to take that class. This is a good time for me to add a new skill set or to chase after that second goal, that third goal. If I have a team member, maybe, then I can do maybe 2 or 3 at the same time, right? Adding in that team member, having that cheerleader with you, that is also how you're able to run side by side. You're not meant to do this alone. Natalie has said this again and again and again. We say this a lot in Rising Tide. You're not meant to do this alone. So who can partner with you? Who can cheer you on? How can you get there together? And that generally is how I achieve multiple goals at the same time, is I have a team. I can't do this alone. There's no way.
I love everything you just said. And Nicole added here, and I love this: plan your goals while considering what you've got going on in each season. Oh, I think, am I frozen, y'all? Can you hear me? Oh, I think Diana, you're back. Okay, I think we're back. But that idea of anticipating and kind of visualizing what a year might look like. And everyone in this call, I mean, some of us have seasonal businesses. Some of you have seasons exactly like Diana's saying. It could be part of a process where there's a lull. It could be something that happens year over year. Like when I was a wedding photographer, there were certain seasons where I knew I could barely get through with the work I already had, and other seasons where it was empty. And so just like Dana's saying, that's where I'd say, okay, I'm going to plug in education. That's where I'm going to invest in this. That's where I'm going to put time for this. And so I think having that visualization, like she's mentioning, sketch it out, draw it out, get a big piece of paper, doodle it. Call some friends that you meet on this call or in your local Tuesdays Together chapter, do it together. I'm loving all of that. And yes, Nicole, Diana taught you that. I mean, of course she did. Nicole, I love it. I saw you mention Diana and Raina. You've got like the dream team here helping you with your business. I love it. Okay. Another question, Diana. We talk about social media all the time. It really is. It's like our most popular topic year over year, blog posts, guides, when we poll people to say, what do you want to learn more about? I guarantee you the top of that list will always be something about social media. And so a lot of folks right now are looking at 2021 and they're saying, I want to up my social media game, but then they're not sure what to do next. They have a desire to grow. They have a desire to improve, but that's about as far as they know what to do, right? They're like, I know I need to do better, but what do I do next? And so do you have any advice for folks out there that are going to be investing in social media in 2021 and aren't sure where to start?
Yes, I do. Oh, this is going to be hard for me to rein in. This is a passion of mine. I love social media so much. I love the community on it. And so my advice to you is to enjoy it. Enjoy it. People know. You can tell, right? Scrolling your feed, you know the people that are loving life and truly loving their craft. Why did you start your business? Everyone go back to that moment. Why did you start your business? What is fueling you? What frustrated you about the previous job you had that said go, that said, this is it, I've had enough, I'm going to start my own thing? What is the thing that you are tired of seeing on social media again and again? Go back to that passion. This is the beginning of the year. You are setting the course. So I would say for social media is to enjoy it. These are my friends. These are my community. And that reflects itself. And there's no pressure. I don't put external pressures on myself. Do I want consistency? Yes. Are there basic rules we want? Yes. You want to have consistency. You don't want to use a bot. Don't buy followers. Those are your basics, right? Okay. Assuming we are all on the same page there, and assuming that we all do that we don't do all those things that I just said. You want to share your passion, share why you're doing what you're doing. And I think that a lot of times you're tripped up. And I think what you see on, and I'm just assuming here, you know yourself. And so I'm assuming that when you're scrolling on social media, you have imposter syndrome. I can't write that. Someone else beat me to it. I can't do it. Someone else already did it. So then if you're being honest with yourself, because that's not the thought that you have when you're scrolling, but the root of it is probably, do I have what it takes to continue my business? There are so many other people in my industry. What do I even say that's not already been said? And that's not the point at all. A tough love, guys. That's not the point. The point is, does it apply to you? When your clients interact with you, does it reflect what you're showing on social media? Are they surprised? Do you ever get that? You're like, oh, well, I've been kind of following you on social media, and that's not what I was really thinking. Like, that happened to me. We got an intern one time at my full-time job years and years ago. And we had somebody that was like super excited to join our team. He was a new intern. He was coming in. He followed every single person on our team. He read all of our books. He posted on stories, did all the stuff. And then he joined our team and he never spoke. I don't think I've ever heard him say more than 5 words. And it was such whiplash, because I was like, hey, it's so great to meet you. Welcome to our team. And then he was just like, and I was like, oh, that doesn't match. You don't want that. You want to be yourself on social media. You're going to hear a lot of social media strategies out there in the world. And so, you know what? Nothing beats strategy. I will say that. I really firmly believe that. And I created a content calendar because I understand people's times are limited. You're stuck sometimes on what to write. And so I just created sort of like a content calendar that's January through December. Here are some holidays, but here's how you can tie in those holidays to your business. Here are some things that you could write about that are about your business. Here are things that you could share. Maybe it'll jog your memory. Maybe it'll jog your mind, bring you back to these passions, to these topics that I'm talking about, to kind of get the juices running in the social media. Because you know what? No, do not pay attention to what anyone else is posting. You run your race, you run your business, you get your clients. Those clients are yours. They are not someone else's. And I guarantee you there's enough clients for every single person and then some. I guarantee you. So you do not need to worry about what someone else is posting. You do you. And you know what? When you're posting what someone else is posting because you saw them post it and it matters to you and it doesn't apply to you at all, we can tell. We can tell. And your analytics will show that. So I would just say, be you, share your passion, tell us why we're following you. We're following you. Tell us why your business is different. Tell us why you started everything. I'm repeating myself now, so I'm going to stop. I'm here. Okay, the end.
Ooh, okay. There's so much gold in there. So much gold in there. And it's like, I feel like you and I had this conversation once where it's like when you are focused on, we talk a lot about community over competition. And when you're focused on competition, or in this landscape, you're focused on, they might not be your competitor directly, but other people doing what you're doing on social media. What you end up doing is you end up looking left and looking right and turning your focus away from what you really need to be focused on, which is the clients that you're there to serve, the story that you're there to tell, the passion, like you said, the why, that gets you up in the morning and gets you going. And you can't be running straight ahead while you're looking to the left. You're going to zigzag. You're going to go the wrong way. You're going to chase after something you were never meant to chase after, right? And so it's so important. I think something else that's kept me struggling in this season when it comes to social on a personal note, and actually, let's do this. If you have been struggling on social at all for whatever reason, and you feel comfortable being honest about maybe what's holding you back, could you drop that in the chat? Could you share with us maybe some of the things that have just felt tough for you right now on social? Or if you've had a breakthrough recently, what was that breakthrough? What is helping you to show up and to feel confident in marketing your business on the internet? Tell us right now. Mary Kate, yes, being positive feels hard right now. That is something I've really struggled with. Yes. Feeling guilty or celebrating. Well, I feel that too, Sarah. Yes. Someone wants to turn it off. Say, listen to this, y'all. This is real. How
Can
does
I do
everyone
another
keep up?
soapbox? Can I do another
Go.
soapbox? I'm
Oh,
sorry.
go, go.
Something in the comments that made me want to say this. I understand. I understand that the world and the interwebs and the World Wide Net, whatever you want to call it, is talking about algorithms. And I get that. And the algorithms are real. Okay, that's fair. I'm going to just, you're not crazy. The algorithms are real. But at the same time, you're not starting your business to chase an algorithm. You're starting your business to run your business, to do your dreams. So don't chase an algorithm. Post what's right for you. Your people will find you. Find your people on the internet. Don't be scared of the algorithm. I'm not doing this right. Yes, absolutely. There's strategy. That's why I call it job security. I'm not going to lie to you. But honestly, don't chase the numbers. Chase your people, chase your dreams, chase your goals. If you are saying, I'm reading some of these comments, sorry, Natalie, I sort of took over a little bit. So I'm reading some of these goals and you don't know what tags to use. You know what? DM me. Okay. We'll talk about that. It's going to be fine. But also some of these things these are habits. Okay. I saw somebody say you're afraid to celebrate because other people are struggling. I felt that. I booked 2 new clients this month and I cried because my team was overwhelmed. And I was like, there's no way they can handle it. And I almost turned down 2 new jobs. And my team member told me, hi, we're getting paid because you get new clients. So you need to celebrate. So she reminded me of that, but it's a habit. So if you're really, really, really struggling with celebrating, well, then I'm going to challenge you to celebrate something every single day for the next 10 days on social media and get in that habit. So when I'm going to share a personal story, when I was growing up, some of you know my personal story, but I was abused and there was a lot of things happening. My family was really poor. I didn't get to eat every day. So I was very malnourished. And so basically what happened is in my 20s, I was still getting migraines every day. I would get really busy chasing after my goals that I forgot to eat. And my body was panicking. I didn't know this at the time. I know this now. I've learned it. My body is panicking because my body was saying, oh my God, you're not going to feed me. Oh my God. I'm being starved again. And so it would shut down and it would give me migraines, trying to alert me, to tell me all the things. My friends texted me every single day for 2 weeks, every time they ate. It's time for you to eat. Go eat. Because I didn't know. I never grew up eating 3 meals a day. I didn't grow up eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so I didn't know that that's when you were supposed to eat. I had to teach my body that this is when you eat. So same thing, you need to teach yourself it's okay to celebrate. You need to teach yourself it's okay to drink water. Go drink water right now. Everybody go take a sip of water. We're going to do it together. Here we go. Here we are. You need to, good job. See, great job, guys. Thanks. So, you got to teach yourself to eat 3 meals a day. You have to teach yourself to put the oxygen mask on first and then to your kids. And so these are things that you have to learn. And so what are you working through? Share that in social media. It's okay. It's your experience. No one can dictate that for you. Don't be afraid. Just post it. And I struggle with it too. Marvin was the one who pushed me to do videos. Everybody go talk to Marvin right now in the chat. And I mean, I had a really struggle showing my face, but really understanding how important it was for someone to not be surprised when they see me, oh, that's not how I envisioned you to be. Again, we want to match our clients' expectations with who we are. We never want our clients to be like, oh, I want them to be focused on the job that I can do for them and not be fumbling because, oh, that's not how I imagined you were, why do you choose one wedding photographer over another? It's mostly personality and style. I'm sure there's other people who are actual wedding photographers that can give you a long list, but I'm going to venture out and say it's the people you click with that you feel comfortable with taking intimate photos of you, right? It is the people right now for me to be a strategist. I need them to trust me. I need my clients to trust me. And how can they possibly trust me if who I said on social media is not who I actually am? How can they trust me if I can't even be authentic on my own Instagram that I own? It is my account. It doesn't belong to Facebook. It doesn't belong to Natalie. It doesn't belong to anyone else but you and me. So, yeah, a little bit of tough love. Hopefully not too much. Don't hate me. You can DM me all the hate later, I promise. But yeah.
No, a lot of that really resonated with me. And I think one of the things you said around it's my account.
Mm-hmm.
And I want everyone who's watching this right now to know that they have ownership over that account, which means that there are a lot of spaces in the world where many of us don't feel like we can bring our full selves to the table. And a lot of us want to dismantle that and change that. But I want to encourage you, because I saw some of these comments too that came through. Your account is your account. You show up how you need to show up there. And so if some of you feel like, I don't want to show up that way, it doesn't feel authentic to me to be on video every day, that's also okay. I want to give you permission to know that's also okay. Although again, Marvin's really good at helping us navigate those insecurities that we're dealing with, right? But it is your account. And I want you to feel that ownership and how you navigate it. I also lately have been realizing that, like on my own account, as an example, I don't want to live in a world where I can't be myself on my own account. I don't want to live in a world where I can't voice how I really feel about something, or I can't share what's really going on in my life, right? Like when I'm really navigating behind the scenes. And it doesn't mean that I don't think intentionally about how I share it or when I share it or what I share. Because I do think it's important to also protect ourselves in that process, and to think strategically about our businesses. But it does mean that we need to maybe sometimes open our eyes and our hearts to the possibility of what we can leverage these platforms for. And so I just want to encourage everybody there. And I love everyone loving on Marvin, by the way, in the chat. Look at this. Marvin inspired me to get more comfortable being on video. And now I have almost 28,000 followers on TikTok. Allison, you are amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay. I love it. Guys, the energy in this room is awesome. Also, a little past midway, just a quick reminder as we're going to dive into a couple more questions. If you haven't yet shared on Instagram, our social media manager, Olivia Reed, is scanning the interwebs for Instagram story posts. And so make sure you get yours in before we choose a winner for our American Express gift card. Continuing forward, let's see. This is a good one from the chat. Kate, thank you for pulling these for me in real time. Diana, we have had a bunch of folks talking about different things around the lack of predictability right now in this world that we live in. And somebody kind of asked, I would love to hear thoughts about planning ahead in such an unpredictable climate, like social media, business. Like, how do we plan ahead when it feels like we no longer live? So I saw someone say, like, I miss precedented times, but where we no longer live in precedented times. How do you recommend us tackling this? Because the way we plan is changing. And I think we have to approach it maybe a little bit differently than we've done in years past. So any advice that you have there would be amazing.
All right. So you may not like what I'm about to say. So instead, what I'm going to have everyone do, take a deep breath together. One more. Okay. We're doing great. We're doing great. Because guess what? You've made it past 100% of the worst days. You made it. You're here right now. Right now you're here. And so for me, planning is a flexible thing. It is a living and breathing thing. I'm 35. Did I plan for my life to be in a basement with no windows, single, with no children right now? I'm going to be honest with you and say no, but I'm living my best life, right? I have all of you forever with me. So whether you liked this talk or not, you're in now. So you're stuck. Here we are. Family sticks together. But letting go is the biggest hurdle that we have, right? And that is painful because these are your big, hairy, audacious goals that you have. But letting go doesn't mean that you don't get your goals. That it doesn't mean that you don't get your dreams. It's just not right now. It's not the right time. If your book released when the world was falling apart anyways, would we have the finances to support buying your book? Could we have bought your book at that time? And would you have internalized it that way? Would you have said, oh, my book didn't do as well as I thought it would, not because we're in the middle of a pandemic and everyone just lost their jobs, but what would you say yourself? And I'm going to just assume that you would say to yourself, oh, I'm not good enough, right? So trust the process, trust the journey, trust the timing. Did you know we spend 80% of our lives in planning mode? We don't spend 80% of our lives at the top of a mountain winning our goals. We spend 80% of our lives waiting, working towards our goals, in the hallway, waiting for the right door to open. And what are you doing with your time? How can you possibly not plan? How can you possibly stop dreaming? We need what you have. What you have is still a good idea, even if it doesn't happen in the timeline that you think it should happen in. Okay, I'm going to say it again. Your idea and your goals and your dreams are still a great idea, and we still need them, even if it doesn't happen on your timeline. It is going to happen. How we get there, we just need to let go of that control a little bit. And again, how many marathon runners didn't get to run their marathon last year? Do you think they stopped running? How many Olympians did not go to the Olympics in 2020? Do you think they're not doing their sport anymore? Sure, we had a good cry about it, but I bet you they're still back on the practice room. They are still practicing and honing their skill, getting ready for the next competition. And so are we. We are going to get in the room. We're going to have a good cry together. We'll do another Zoom call like this. We'll have a good cry together. We'll be there for each other, feel the feels. And then we're going to go after your dreams, and we're going to re-look at your marketing strategy, and we're going to re-look at the goals that we assessed, and we're going to re-look at everything and talk about how we can best serve you, right? Your plans are there to serve you. Your plans are there to help you when you're busy and when you feel like you can't grasp it all anymore. Your plans are there to serve you. That's why we do systems and workflows. A good friend, Laura Lee, she talks about how 79% of your leads convert to sales when you have a plan, when you have a welcome plan, when you have a system in place. 79%. How many of us have a system right now? So I'm just saying, we're not here to shame you. We're here to just break it down. Make those goals, get those big, hairy goals, the ones that you're even afraid to say out loud, even to yourself, because I have some of those, okay? Write it down somewhere. Start there. Put it on your mirror. Start there. I have a Post-it on my wall. Start there. And then maybe tell somebody. And then write down the steps it takes to get there. What will it take? And if it doesn't happen in 2021, okay, we reassess. It's flexible. We try again. 2022, here we go. This is your year, right? We're here for you. It doesn't die just because it didn't happen in a calendar year that was made up in arbitrary. I'm kidding. It's not made up in arbitrary. Calendar years are real. I'm just here. I just got excited. But a calendar year doesn't define your success. That's not it. So that's all. Here I am.
I love when you get passionate. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's kind of tie it up with this question, and we'll close out today's session, but this is such an important one. Somebody asked, I want to get my business processes more organized, but I don't know where to start. Do I need to get a CRM? Do I need to have a plan in place first? Where do I begin? And then I'll add a little tack on question to this, which is like, for folks that already have some systems in place, also, how should we be evaluating? How should we be thinking about creating something more streamlined, creating something with less friction?
Yeah, for sure. There is multiple ways of doing what you want to achieve. I will say that for everyone that I've talked to and everyone that I've taught, because I taught a class on HoneyBook, and for all the business owners that I've worked with, everyone is different. If you're on a budget, and it's okay to be on a budget, if you're on a budget and you need to take advantage of the free wave invoicing, of the free whatever email marketing service that there is, right? And you need to piecemeal your business together, that's okay. I give you freedom to do that. For me and for what I prefer for my clients to have, if you can afford it, I would prefer and recommend a CRM. I'm preferential to HoneyBook. HoneyBook does not pay me to say that. I truly am preferential to HoneyBook. But check out Dubsado, check out Aisle Planner, check out 17 Hats, see what works for you. Every single one of them has a free trial, and you do what works best for you. I believe in HoneyBook. I like it personally, so I'm going to continue my talk based off of HoneyBook. You can DM me. We can do pros and cons of all the things. I have tried them all. I believe in the CRM because I like my things in one place. I like organizing things. I think of HoneyBook as like a digital filing system. And so I like having my emails together, my invoices, my contracts. I like that it's streamlined for my clients. I like that I'm paying for one service instead of figuring out if I like Square. Then I like the free Wave thing. And then I'm going to go to FreshBooks to get like the free blah, 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 and then go to the free QuickBooks and then that's not how I do it. And again, I'm not knocking it if that's where your budget is at. Please do what's best for you and your budget and where you're at in this season. But I think that if you can, yes, please start with a CRM. HoneyBook has a great deal right now, $1 for 8 months, I think for a couple more weeks. And then $40 a month after that, you need my code. And I think Natalie has a code. It's 6 months on HoneyBook's code, but it's 8 months on mine. So $1, you can do that, right? So give it a go, give it a try. Do you need to have a plan first in place? The number one thing that I ask my clients when we're talking about their HoneyBook accounts is, what is your ideal client experience? You're starting from scratch. Okay. It's not what you have in place right now. Right now, if you had it your way, what would your clients see? What's the experience? So really map that out. And we go through that together with me and my clients. That's what we do together. And that's one of the longest talks that we have. Okay, they're going to find me through Instagram and I'm going to do this. I'm going to say this. All right, they're going to fill out my contact form. And after they fill out my contact form, it goes to HoneyBook. And the first thing I want them to see is a welcome video for me. Okay, let's film the welcome video. Here we go. Do you have your welcome video? Yes, no? Okay, film it. That's your next step, right? Or maybe it's a welcome email and I want them to see a list of my services and a brochure. All right, we will create that brochure. Is the brochure ready? Yes, no. Okay, that's okay. Again, you don't need to go do everything, but you're just writing out your ideal experience, right? And then I want to schedule a call with them. I want to send them like a gift card. And so many of you are so generous. I want to send them articles to help them with their planning process. All these things can be, write it all out, A to Z. When it's all said and done, after you've provided the services to your clients, it's not over. What's next? Thanking your clients, right? Are you asking for recommendations? Are you asking for referrals? Are you asking for them to write a review? It's not over. So keep writing it all the way, A to Z. Plan out your perfect client experience. You want them, every single one of you, every call that I'm on says, I want my clients to feel seen and understood and known. Okay, well, write it down. How are you going to do that? Right? And write down your ideal thing. And I think that's the most personal thing you could possibly offer. So start there. And then you said, CRM and then a plan in place. So Natalie, help me. What did I do?
No, this is all, I think you really have answered it. It's kind of like, start by mapping it out, taking the time to sit down, even before you put it into a CRM like HoneyBook, sit down and map it out. What would the ideal client experience be? And I was in business for a decade. I don't think I ever sat down and said, okay, I know how I want them to feel, but how am I going to get there? And as you were speaking, I kept envisioning little Post-it notes, like almost like taking a giant poster board, making Post-it notes and saying like, this is what I want the experience to be. This is how I want them to feel at every stage. And an important thing to highlight too, that you mentioned, is that client experience doesn't end after the contract is signed. It doesn't end after you deliver the product or service. Client experience continues for the life of that relationship. So how are you continuing to engage? How are you thinking about nurturing that relationship even after they've paid you and you're done and you've shaken hands and gone your separate ways? Like, are you following up? Are you celebrating milestones if it's relevant to your business? Are you getting the testimonials, like you mentioned, getting feedback? All of that can be integrated into that ideal client experience. And that's what you help your clients to do. And it's something so many of us don't take the time to do because we're so busy working in the business that we don't carve out the time to do the work to actually work on the business, which can change the trajectory so that, like you said, when we do hit that goal, when we do have that success, we're actually ready for it. We built the infrastructure. We've built the systems. It's not going to overwhelm us. It's going to delight us. And that is the goal here, right? That is the goal. And I love this. It's like, I've wanted to implement this. Yes, Sarah, for years and years, and I haven't gotten my act together enough to do it. Look, I think this is that moment for a lot of us where we're like, all right, enough is enough. It's time. And so before we pull a giveaway winner, I want to kind of close on this note. Diana, if there are folks here right now that want to work with you to help accomplish this, if they've been putting it off or they need help or they just need the accountability partner to help them see the strategy in this, what are ways that people can connect with you? How can they get more involved with the work that you do?
Yeah, thank you. Right before I answer that question, I just want to say that's also for whoever asked about the unpredictable climate. Having your systems in place is going to help you with the unpredictable climate. You never know when someone's going to be in hospital. You never know. It's not just pandemic. Okay. You don't know when someone's going to cancel. You don't know what's coming around the bend. And that is life. That is life. And part of it is, honestly, I'm going to have eye surgery soon. This is your last time seeing me with glasses on. And I have structures in place. I'm not panicking because no, and I have an amazing team, and my team was like, is there anything we can do to like support you? And I was like, honestly, no, just your normal every day, because the systems are in place. And I know that anyone who emails me is going to get an answer, is going to be responded to, is going to be cared for, because I've already done my A to Z planning. So I hope that gives you some kind of encouragement. It is a process. If you are interested in working with me, so you can reach out to me, thefinerpoints.co/contact. Oh, look at Kate. Oh my gosh. Everything Kate just listed, honestly. Like, wow, you even found my dollar link. That's impressive. You are magic, Kate. Magic. So yes, Kate has all the amazing links. I'm happy to chat with any of you. I'm happy to even just do a quick call with you for me to look at your systems. I won't charge you for that. But honestly, planning out your A to Z first is going to save you and I time. And the HoneyBook concierge team is fantastic, superb. I owe all my success to them, quite honestly. And if you have specific questions, that's where they come in. Because if you're asking broad questions like, hey, I don't feel like the workflows are working, they're not going to be able to help you with that because their workflows are working, right? And so what is it that you're specifically trying to do? Oh, I want to embed a video and it's not working. It's not playing. Also, you cannot embed a video right now. Don't ask them for that. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but it's coming. So don't tell. All right.
Diana's in our beta. Diana's getting a preview of what we're launching in a couple months. And it's not, I don't even want to say it's like updates. It's like a whole, I don't want to, okay. I don't know what I can say or what I can't say. I'll just say it's when we talk about creating your ideal client experience and not being bound to what a system wants you to do and creating it the way you want to create it. All I'll say is that's the future. The future is you step in and say, here's my dream. Here's what I want to do. And then it's a totally different way of structuring. And I'm so pumped, and a lot of new features. We'll ribbon it up there. Oh my gosh. Diana, seriously, I teared up. Did anyone else tear up today? If you teared up at certain points, certain quotes hit you, like hit a little different, they hit kind of hard today. Will you just give her some encouragement in the chat? It takes a lot to show up and to give us of your time, which is so valuable. And I know you're bringing on new clients, your business is doing well. Like, we are just so grateful for you giving this time to us today. And I truly can't thank you enough. I think the world of you, and I'm so grateful. Totally cried. Look at that. See? Yep. I know I wasn't alone. I was trying to hide it because y'all can see my face. I love it. Look at this love. I love it. Oh my gosh. Rising Tide family. Amazing. And We want to celebrate somebody else too, who won our Instagram stories giveaway via random number generator. Olivia has selected Kelly La Bruyere. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I just dropped that name in there. Kelly La Bruyere. Congratulations. Thank you for sharing. Thank you everyone for sharing, tagging Diana, tagging Rising Tide. We will be in touch with how to get your gift card. Congrats, Kelly. And thank you again to Diana. Thank you to Kate Masters, who is always our rock star behind the scenes. The only reason anything works in this community is because of that woman. I promise you right now. So Kate, thank you for all of your hard work and for everyone for tuning in today. We hope you join us next month. We're going to have another amazing Tuesdays together on a subject that all of us could use some help on. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that and join us in February as well. Again, thank you everyone. And we hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye, everybody.